I think there's only one place to start at the Emirates. It was Arsenal in the same window as Manchester City played, and they'd just seen Liverpool get beat the day before. A really important game against a Crystal Palace team that we know can cause problems with that system, with the way they play, with big JP Mateta. So what would you overall take on the game, Rob, in terms of Arsenal getting the right result and how they went about getting that result?
Well, you introduced it, Rob, as I did watch a lot of football this weekend, but I did watch the other game. I watched the other game closely, Aston Villa versus Man City.
Okay.
So, of course, I just watched the highlights. I saw the goal, the Eberechi Eze goal from a set piece, which, if we've not talked about set pieces enough this season, I can't believe this season's turning into a season of set pieces. I mean, there was so many today on the Sunday. I'm stunned, actually. But anyway, we'll get into that in probably in each game. So I didn't close look at this one, Rob. Did you have your eye on this one?
We did. Obviously, it was on the USA Network, so I had a close eye. So it was on the Pico. I had a close eye on this one. What I would say is, I thought, Arsenal coming off the 4-0 win in the Champions League against Atleti, a stunning, powerful performance. This wasn't that, I didn't think. Palace, as we know, with that system, can have possession, can create one or two chances, although it wasn't too many shots at goal, which is another strength of Arsenal's we'll come back to. But it wasn't a classic, methodical, surgical, that football that breaks through. It wasn't that day, Rob. It was, yes, reasonable control, yes, reasonable build-up, but not creating an awful lot at the top end of the pitch. And then we have to talk about set pieces being so important to this team. Again, it's a ball from right. It looks like it's Gabriel who gets a header back. And as of all players against his former team, gets his first Premier League goal, Robert. And this goal could be huge. When we look back at this season, wherever the title lands and we start breaking it down, this ninth game, when Liverpool lost, and we've seen now when Man City lost, and Arsenal went on and to put that little bit of space between, I think 6 between them and City, 7 between them and Liverpool, it was a huge day. And I think Mikel Arteta's already said, hasn't it? It's one of his best wins, biggest wins since he's been in charge.
Yeah, when all the stuff you say there, Rob, it's almost like the chat we had a week ago. Fulham away,
rinse and
set
repeat.
piece, absolute rinse and repeat. It wasn't brilliant football, didn't create a ton of chances. They get their goal through a set piece, and they kind of huffed and puffed a little bit to try and find another goal to put the game away. But because, like we said last week, Rob, their defence is so strong, 1-0 to the Arsenal is a famous chant from years ago, and it's going to be the same chant this year, I'm afraid. And there's going to be games where they find the attacking form
is
brilliantly.
That right now, Rob? Rebecca was talking on the show, and I kind of said, my sense right now is no one else has the confidence that they have in taking into a game where they can feel they can keep a clean sheet. Man City, I think, showed some inconsistencies every now and then. Yeah. Liverpool, as we've seen, is one of those teams. Other sides in the thing. When you think they've conceded 3 goals and the next best is, 6 or 7? It's incredible that this, I think they've had 1 shot on target in the last 3 games. 1 shot on target.
It's such it's unusual, weird season, Rob. I've got to say, even when you look at the league table position of some of these teams in the top 4, and Sunderland and Bournemouth, and you look down at mid-table of Villa, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Newcastle at 14. It's an odd season. It's a season where before we've had promoted teams and many teams in the Premier League really try and play silky football. Yeah. There's a lot more physicality come back to the league this year. Promoted teams have kind of tooled up with strong, physical, athletic players. Again, there's a lot of clubs now that have specialist set-piece coaches to utilise those guys, players that great spinning the ball into the box. It's been a different, I don't know, mate. It feels like a different kind of season so far. Plenty of time to go. And maybe the best team to deal with these changes are the ones that are sat right at the top of the league right now with what they've got in their squad. So, it's suiting them right now.
Are we getting, though, also, Rob, I was talking to Tim about this, that, some people, it's out there now, isn't it? The set pieces and the long throws and all that. It's breaking up the game. It's changing the game. It's not quite the game we had before. Are we almost? Do we have to be a bit careful about being critical of it and like dumbing it down and they only can win by set pieces or they can only win by corners? When Pep Guardiola came into English football, he was lauded for the inverted fullbacks, the false nines, the goalkeeper who's kicking out from the back and at times kicking long. I kind of feel like because it's Arsenal and because it's Mikel Arteta, people want to put it down a little bit.
Listen, mate, we could debate this actually. I mean, do I like watching game after game with set pieces getting set up from throw-ins to corners to free kicks around the box and the ball being hurled into the box? Got another set piece and stop and start. Yeah. You probably know how I feel about this. I'm not going to say, look at your face already. I'm not going to say,
Snob. Football snob.
No, it's not that. It's just like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with winning a title, being great at that. Fair play. Yeah. All I'm saying is, as a general spectator, I'm not a massive fan of it. I'll be honest with you. If I can see a team playing lovely football, creative football, getting in behind, skillful players, clever balls, through balls, 1-2s, dribbles, I'd rather see that than a ball getting flung into the box. But that's just me. And I'm not saying, the climate right now is there's a lot of that and it's working out. And the silky small players, even the ones coming into the league, Xavi Simons, Florian Wirtz, have found the physicality of the leagues like, wow, this really is like different. So I don't know if that answers your question, mate. I prefer it another way.
In part, and what I'll say is, I'm a component of the long throw and the long ball. I had a whole career out of it.
I know, but does that mean that you still love it? No, but
let me put it another way, and let me give you another suggestion. That Arne Slot came out after Manchester United game last weekend and talked about how they sat in a low block and how they went direct from the goalkeeper to forward and they played second balls. As if, like, you're not allowed to do that.
No.
The other thing that I also think, Rob, the managers have to be careful. If you keep on sort of saying, these long throws, as a player, mentally, I start getting, here's another long throw, I'm going to concede. His job is to play their great football that they want to play, but when that ball's thrown in the box, by the way, get somebody to head it, get somebody to mark the people who are scoring the goals that are losing your games.
Of course, mate. Of course. My preference would be to see other ways of most goals getting scored. But if you're in the game, if I'm coaching right now one of the Premier League sides, I'm absolutely gearing up my team for it. Yeah. And we should
probably missing a trick if you don't, aren't you? Are you not missing a trick?
Yeah, of course you are. You can't shun away from it. I mean, I'm speaking as a observer of the league and of games. Yeah. If I'm working in the game in the Premier League on the coaching staff of a team, I'm absolutely going to be all over this. Yeah. I'm absolutely hiring a set piece coach. I am going to try and defend it and use it. And why don't we just move it forward, Rob, because of our next game? Because that's kind of the story initially again with Brentford against Liverpool.
Let me just go back one person. Sorry,
go on then.
I just felt it was. I'd like to give Eze a mention, Rob.
Yeah.
Because I think he's gone to the football club. I think at times he's still challenged by what I think is one of the most developed systems and intricate systems of playing that I still think he's working out where he actually fits and where he's positioned. I think he's got 1 goal in 10 up until today, which was a League Cup against Port Vale. So for him to get his first Premier League goal today, I thought was huge, Rob. It's a match winner. It's a 3 points. And I just feel there's so much more of Eze to come for Arsenal fans. When he gets the confidence, when he finds a spot, when he gets used to the way they work the ball, I just felt like, on a big day for him today, let's just give him a little mention and hope to look towards some of that football you're talking about. Because when somebody's in a low block, when somebody's, difficult to break down, he brings something different, Rob, that Arsenal haven't had. And I think it's an important option for them to have on days when they drew 14 games, I think it was last season, and that lost them the title.
Yeah, listen, I'll follow up on that because, of course, I'm watching him very closely as well because we all see what he did at Crystal Palace, and I think we spoke many times, Rob, about oh, he looks really talented. Why isn't a big club come in for him? Obviously, Arsenal did, but it kind of took a long time. Initial kind of impressions at Arsenal. And when you sort of started saying there, your point about Eze, I thought you were going to say, you know, coming into the side, dealing with the expectation, the excitement. He's an Arsenal kid. The fans wanted him. It was kind of a fun way. He got the move. He phoned the manager. He's in the team. The expectation's really high. This is a big club. This isn't Crystal Palace, where if he can have a quiet game or two, that's okay. I think he has. I think we've seen flashes of it. I think you're right. I think it's going to take him a little bit of time to affect the game more consistently in the 90 minutes. And I think that's what, because I know, we all know he's super talented. It's just that really innate kind of quality of making yourself impactful on the game, getting involved, getting a bit busier to get on the board to do his stuff. That's all. I just need a little bit more of that, and I'm sure he's going to be a huge success at the club. But he, you know, like you said, he's just finding his feet a little bit in a different system, in a big giant British club that's expectations are a little high.
Going for a title, by the way, Robbie. It ain't about finishing second. It's about going and winning a title. So you're right. We'll obviously keep an eye on that, but certainly while Martin Odegaard's out, you sense that he's going to get plenty of time.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.